and welcome to the first episode of our podcast, LoliQ. Woohoo!
Woo! Hello.
Yeah, so hi guys. This is hectic. I don't know what to say. This is something Q and I have been talking about for a while now, and we're actually taking the first step to doing it. So I'm heckin' excited. I don't know how you feel, Q, because
I'm pretty nervous but really excited. I'm the Q in the LoliQ.
Yeah, so today we're just going to be chatting a bit about ourselves, why we started this podcast, and yeah, we just want you guys to get to know us a bit before we start diving into our actual content, I guess.
Yeah, it's gonna be weird and wonderful.
Yeah.
So before we segue straight into that, just give you guys an opportunity to get to know us and stuff.
Yeah. So first we can start. We're 20-something-year-olds. Like I said, I'm Lorian. My gender is female, and I go by she, her, but I'm not too fussed about pronouns. And UQ, how do you feel about pronouns?
Not too bad, honestly. I'm pretty easy. Also, she, her. But if you wanted to call me they, them, he, him, totally chilled with that. Doesn't matter to me. And also 20-something. Yeah.
Yeah, we're not too fussed about the pronouns here, but we do welcome anyone with any other pronouns. We don't.
100%.
Yeah. So I'm gonna just chat a bit about myself, and then I'll hand over to Q. So I am Lorian again for the third time in this episode, apparently. So I'm gonna do this interview style. Like, if I had to go to a work interview, I'm gonna just be like, hey, this is me, so be prepared, guys. This is gonna be a very awkward first episode, so please just don't roast us too much.
We're still getting into it.
We're still figuring it out. So yeah, I'm, like I said, a 20-something-year-old. I studied film, funnily enough. I think both of us have a background in creating content in some form of the thing, but back to me now, because I'm not going to talk about Q. She's got her own little bit about that. Yeah, so I studied film. I like to game. I don't want to say I'm an avid gamer, but I don't want to say casual either, because I game. I do.
I would say you're a bit of a gamer. You own it.
I mean, if anything, I've chatted to you about my exploits in gaming quite often, so I'm not too stressed about that.
I mean, you've racked up a lot of hours on Genshin alone.
Well, let's be real. Genshin is Genshin, and farming for artifacts and things is a pain. But so I do like to game. I am very crafty as well. I like to do my crafts. I'm currently crocheting a jersey inspired by Demon Slayer. Stick around if you want to see the results of that on our Instagram at some point. It might take a while, so I'm not getting anyone's hopes up. I don't think there's anything else more about me. I'm a weirdo, I guess. I have short hair. I have red hair at the moment. I've been dyeing it every other day, apparently. I like me some tattoos. Got me some piercings. And I don't think there's much else to say about me that might not come up in conversation a bit later. So I'm going to hand over to you.
It's definitely going to be a bit of oversharing in the future. So you'll definitely get to know us better from there. But I'm Q, in case you haven't picked that up. I'm also 20-something, as we said. I studied media and English, which is possibly one of the more useless degrees. Not that I subscribe to rating degrees and their usefulness, but let's be honest, in the grand scheme of things, and working in a capitalist society.
Let's just say you're not going out to become a doctor.
Yes, 100%. I would say I'm more on the artsy side. It's kind of funny. You're the crafty. I'm the artsy. Well, you're artsy too. I mean, I've seen your the embroidery stuff really gets me going. That's super cool.
Yeah, I can't design my own shit.
Neither can I. Can't draw my own shit. I can draw other people's shit. And
imitation,
the highest form of flattery, or whatever that says. But yeah, I mean, I did try knitting once. It was very therapeutic, but I would have to like ask my mom to like start the stitches every time, and then it just ended up being a very like long, wonky and uneven scarf, but I was still proud of it. Anyway, yeah, more on the drawing and painting side. Starting to get into painting, not going very well, because I didn't actually take art in high school, and it's kind of tough to learn these things on your own, but it's a journey. And yeah, I'm a bit of a weirdo too, and I think that's kind of why we gel so well. Yeah, man. And do we get into the weird questions now, or do we get into how we met?
So I think we can dip into the weird questions and let the people like get to know us a bit more. Before we get into our backstory and our life story and like
the lore,
our origin story, every great superhero has an origin story. That was cringy. I'm so sorry. But yeah, so before this we decided to ask each other questions, like icebreaker questions, just so that we could delve a bit more into our personalities and see how we would kind of just
answer them and debate about them.
Yeah, so I have a question for Q, and it is, if you can go back to any time in history for fashion, which would it be? And for those who don't know, Q does have a very good sense of fashion. I would say a bit better than mine. I'm not saying we're fashionistas, but we are.
Me up. Yeah.
You do. You always look stylish. Your fits are always chef's kiss.
Okay, don't. It's when we're recording this. It's Saturday morning. I'm not ready to be blushing on over here. Anyway, it's a toss up for me. I'm honestly. I think I really vibe with the whole 90s fashion, I would say genre, but style. Like, it's so, it's the grungy, elements. I really love that. But then I started watching Stranger Things, like a while back, and I kind of fell in love with that too. I would say not how maybe most of the women dressed, like those pooky dresses and whatever, but like I really like the guys style, because they had those like high-waisted jeans and
so like
man.
Elle, I think
Elle was like, a really
was
good.
it season 3 where she had that like really nice colorful 80s print with the high-waisted pants and the little like top knot, like all that I could totally see you in though.
Oh, thanks. All of her fits were just I love what they did with that. Anyway, so yeah, those would probably be mine. Like, not anything too far in the past, but I do be interested in corsets and stuff. I think those look good, and I see people bringing them back on TikTok and stuff, and I'm here for it. Like,
we're living for the corset fashion.
Yes. What about you? I mean, where in history would you land fashion-wise?
Honestly, I love history and I love fashion. Well, I don't love fashion because I'm not very well dressed. Well, I won't say I'm not very well dressed.
You can love it, and not
but
be super
I do prefer to be comfortable over like high fashion, I guess.
Yeah.
But if I had to say, I there's just something about the 1920s, about that period of fashion, but also armor. I love armor. So anything medieval, like chainmail, and just fantasy. Like, I want to say fantasy style, so more the medieval times, because it's so fun. Like, I know back then it was practical. But I mean,
no one was like, girl, look at this fun chainmail I just got.
I just got it, and like, I'm gonna pair it with a corset, and look at this like engraved. What is the word? Like a decorative. Look at my decorative dagger my fiance gave to me. Like, it's a fit on its own. But yeah, I don't know. Like that whole princess aesthetic. I wanna run around in a castle in a majestic gown with ringlet hair and like a nice like tiara and a sword, because I mean swords were fashion accessories back then.
I could 100% picture you in both of those sort of like eras. Number one, I couldn't picture you in like a princess gown without some form of like badass armor and like a sword.
Yeah.
Just like a giant broadsword would be amazing. You know, just decapitating people willy-nilly in the castle as you run around. And also like the whole 90s flapper thing. Yeah, I love how they did their hair with the little curls
The
and
finger
stuff
waves,
like that.
yeah.
Yes, I could totally see that for you. Oh my god.
I've tried finger waves before and it did not go well. Like, I'm not even gonna lie. It was... Because, okay, so I have a sister who is in hair. She does the hairstyling stuff and I asked her for help. And she's like, yeah. And she's like, I told her I want to do finger waves. And she's like, you know how hard that is? And I'm like... Whatever, I can do it. I can do finger waves. It's not a problem. What are you even talking about? I tried and I failed miserably. I did once in costuming class in uni. We were kind of going through all the decades of fashion, just like a brief, and doing like our lecturer was doing makeup looks. And my hair was really short at the time. It was like growing out from a pixie style. And he was like, okay, you're gonna be 1920s today. And I was like, lacquer, dude, let's do it. So a lot of gel and a lot of like combing my hair later. And I actually had finger waves, and then I had a cool little hat. And I don't know if you've seen my Instagram, but it's on
I was
my
gonna
Instagram.
say, isn't that on your Instagram? Because I'm not
It is
gonna
on
lie,
my
I think both of us did this when we like first met each other. I stalked your Instagram. I was like, yes.
Is that
give
but
me
is that
the
not just the
content.
normal thing to do these days? Is when
I
you meet
think
someone
so.
new and you like vibe with them, you're like, I'm gonna check
Yes.
this person's like Instagram and see what the vibe is, you know?
Yes.
And yeah,
And it
so
was just a plethora of content, especially doggo content.
we love
oh
doggo content.
my gosh. Oh, okay. We'll get into doggos later.
We can have a whole chat just about dogs and
You
our
know.
love for them.
Oh, okay. My question, slightly more in the future. It's actually weird that we picked like future past tense, but anyway. Oh, but mine's present. Anyway, so it's like if aliens landed on Earth tomorrow, and I'm
You
thinking about the
studied
future.
English.
Hey, shut up! I'm sensitive. I had to Google what an adverb was the other day, and it's right in the name of like the word. Shush.
But I mean, let's be real. If we had to do those Mad Libs and they ask you for like
Oh,
nouns
God.
and verbs and things, there's so many times that I've been like, what's an adverb? What's a noun again? What's a proper noun? Yeah, the embarrassment.
I remember doing that though, like while I was legit in second or third year. Like I can't remember what the exact word was, but then I took a picture of it and I just posted it because I was like, this is where we're at. This is. I have not been paying attention. Anyway, so my future present question is: if aliens landed on Earth tomorrow and offered to take you home with them, would you go?
So I think both of us can speak that we like the alien conspiracies, and I
Yes.
fully believe aliens are a thing. The
They
universe.
can't not be.
The universe is way too vast to not have some other form of life. So, but going back to like, I would probably go with them. I'd probably be scared shitless.
Oh, yeah.
But I'd probably be like, you know what, this world's not offering anything for me right now. I'm a dip with the aliens. So yeah, I do think if given the opportunity, and they were like, well, we're not gonna probe you or anything. I feel like we'd work out the T's and C's first and be like, what, like what is the exchange happening here? Am I
That's a good question.
am I an experiment, or are you just
Yeah.
like wanting to vibe with someone from Earth?
You know, those are important questions to get out of the way.
Yeah, I mean, experimentation. I feel like I'd be like, you know what?
Not so great. Where did the probing thing come from, by the way? Like, can we just... why are humans like this? Because... maybe I think there probably are stories of people who claim, like, you know, they got abducted by aliens and whatever, and they probed them. But okay, regardless of whether they are, real or fake, why, if you were making up the story, why would your first go-to
I was
be
pro.
butt stuff?
They
Like,
jammed
I was
it up
pro.
there and they were like, let's take a look inside and
There's
see
so many good other ways to like find out about DNA.
I honestly would
anyway.
think the brain would be the first thing to look at. Like, why are you
That's
exactly? Why are
true.
you sticking stuff up people's butts, man?
Also, observation. Like, put me in like a glass cage or whatever, and then just like slide some food in there like a couple of times a day. See how I behave and interact with my
Yeah,
surroundings.
give me.
Why are we just giving aliens tips now for better abduction practices?
Maybe they'll listen to our podcast and be like, damn, we've been doing it all wrong this time.
Thanks Q, thanks Laurie, and this is we've violated some human rights in the past, and I think we turning over a new leaf now.
It's time for
A new
the
alien.
social experiments and the behavior.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking.
I mean,
For me, if
Mhm.
I think a good way to observe us would be to put us in a room, but they change like the setting every like other day. So like you're in the forest for one day, like like Hunger Games, like they haul you in there, and then, like you
Yes.
see what you would do in
Minus
those
the killing,
situations.
hopefully. Yeah.
And I was just like thinking, like, put me in a social situation, and I probably would be like, oh god, people.
Oh god.
But then you put
Need
me
to
in
leave.
like, I think a survival situation. I don't think I do too shabby, but I would rather be in a survival situation rather than in a situation where I have to talk to new people.
That makes sense. I would probably rather be by myself. I don't think I have any survival instincts. I'm first to go in a zombie apocalypse, that kind of stuff. I'm asthmatic. I cannot run. I have no training. I mean, Lauren's at least gone on all these camps where you like learn how to shoot a gun and like make good knots and
If I've
It
retained any
just-
of that information is a good question.
fair.
It's
Honestly,
been a
fair.
few years.
It's been a while.
Just on that, I was on TikTok this morning, as one does on a Saturday morning, and I actually saw this video where this girl was like, why are people so, like, why is the first instinct for people to just like be survival driven once an apocalypse happens? Like, you've got zombies running around, you've got like shit happening, why are you focused on survival? Like, just give up. Was basically the like she was like, I just wanna, like, I would be like, nah, here, Mr. Zombie, I'm one of you now. I don't
If you
care.
can't beat him, join him.
Take me out.
Honestly, that would most likely be my first okay, not my first instinct. I would try, just monkey brain would try and survive a little bit, but logical Q brain and like physical lack of strength Q would be like, you know what, here man, just have a munch,
Yeah,
I'm done.
I'm done.
And also, that is weirdly, I mean, I don't know if you've ever like what your nightmare tactics are. I have a lot of weird dreams, right? And I'm always being chased or like taken, or a very good example of my mental state. But I always find myself up against some sort of bad guys, and for some reason eventually my brain always clocks in like, hey, we can't escape the situation. This is also perhaps a dream. I have a little bit of self-awareness sometimes in dreams, and I'm like, okay, well, I have no chance of survival in this situation, so what's the next best option? Give in,
just
and then I become the bad guys, and then like not long after that, I'm telling you the 100% truth, dream will end. Like, because at that point there's no more fear or like
Yeah, you're just
anything
like,
to
it's
feed
fine.
off of in my
I'm done.
consciousness. So I'm like, hell yes, I've won. This is me winning here.
But it
So-
is. It's like I feel like if it was an apocalypse situation, I think it would depend on what kind of apocalypse it was.
True.
Like, if it was a zombie apocalypse, like, firstly, like,
How
if
fast are the zombies?
exactly,
That's the
because
first question.
are they the zombies that like yeet at you, or are they the like typical zombies that you see everywhere, which are slow moving and just like real
Groaning.
stupid?
Yeah.
Because like, for me, if it's that situation, I feel like in a lot of these movies they have unlimited ammunition.
True.
And I'm like, bruh, if the world goes to shit, no one is out here making bullets and just like spreading them around for people.
That's true.
You
They
have to
would be
raid a
hoarding
gun
them.
shop.
Yeah.
You'd have to raid a gun shop.
Yeah, that's true. And eventually everyone will be raiding gun shops and there'll be no more ammo left.
Exactly. And then what are you gonna do? What is your backup plan?
Knife the
Machete.
zombies. That's
Exactly.
so close.
You
like-
have to get right up in their face. To, like,
Yeah.
okay, but here's my thing. If I had a scythe, this is something that
Lauren's dream weapon right
my
here.
dream weapon is a scythe. I love scythes are the coolest thing. I know people will probably be like they're so impractical and whatnot, but they are cool.
I don't
Aesthetics
think that's
wise, they're
people's
so
first
cool.
thought. People's first thoughts are, what is a scythe?
It's the thing the Grim Reaper has. If you not.
That's a good description.
But scythes, dream weapon. I want one. I watch the show Ruby. I don't know if anyone's heard of it. But the main character Ruby has a scythe that turns into a gun, and I'm like, oh, that is the coolest. And it's like it's the coolest thing. If you want to go check out Ruby and just say it's RWBY.
Free promo for Ruby.
Free promo for Rooster Teeth here. But honestly, go check it out because scythes are cool, and like they have the pole arm feature, which means you don't have to get as close. But you have to be pretty proficient, I think, in scythe wielding to be able to do that. I'm trying to
like
think.
the
A bow and
modern-day
an
spear.
arrow, though.
Ooh, okay. I think bow and arrows also great because number one, yes, you can run out of ammo, right? And maybe it's not as lethal as a bullet, but you could make arrows. Like trees are everywhere, you know, and like metal rods and whatever weird crap you find in an apocalypse, you know. That's so.
Yeah.
But and then also long range.
Long
range
Sit
weapons
in a
are
tree.
probably the best.
Sit in a tree and shoot these bitches.
Yes, Katniss that shit up, you know.
Exactly. Like that's also something. Like, why are you on the ground? Climb a tree. Learn some aerial acrobatics to jump from tree to tree. Zip
Especially, I mean,
lines.
zombies are not known for their amazing flexibility or freaking hand-eye coordination. So the higher up you get, the safer you are.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, yeah. Anyway, so would you
How
go
do we
with
get you?
aliens? Would you go with the aliens?
Okay, yes, okay. A few things to consider first. I only love like 5 people in this world so dearly that I would that they would impact my decision. I'm not gonna name those people because then I feel like everyone else is gonna be like,
Hey,
what the hell, Q?
that's rude.
I love you guys too. Okay, so like, I mean, I would feel bad for like my parents and stuff, you know, but like, I mean, new adventures, man. And like you said, this world has limited potential, I feel, you know, in terms of the possibilities that you can achieve as just one human out of like billions.
Yeah.
But one human in like the midst of aliens with like crazy tech, or you know, just, you know, worlds where maybe anything that we normally, like the sky, the ground, maybe things are shifted, you know, we don't know what those other planets are like. I would be down for like having the sky below me and the, okay, that actually sounds,
That doesn't sound right.
that sounds nauseating. I'll take that back. And it would also depend on obviously the disposition of the aliens.
True.
Are they nice? Do they want to be my bud? I'm down for a little observation because obviously I'm gonna be observing you guys back. It's not like
Yeah.
I'm just sitting there being like, dope. Michael just unscrewed the top of his head, you know, and shoved some like
Goop in
whatever in there. I'm gonna look away and pretend everything's
it.
normal.
Normal.
But you know, I think it's healthy for our different species to observe each other for good relations purposes.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
Anyway.
not for evil purposes. But yeah, I think I would definitely consider going. I think in previous we'd also had a question like if there was like the first you know, opening on Mars, like, and you could be the first part of the first population group to go there and settle. That's something that interests me.
Yeah, it's
It would be
cool,
tough.
but I wouldn't want to go with humans.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, let's be real.
Humans suck.
Humans suck.
Just think about like the fights you would have over like Michelle doesn't want to freaking plant the crops that day, you know.
Yeah,
She's just like,
I'm just like, guy, we need the food. It's like, no, but you ate my last bean and I'm spiting you and being
the
petty.
beans.
Because we do. Humans get real petty
They do.
when like I feel like especially in like I don't want to say survival situations, but like in situations where they're out of their comfort zone, I feel like people tend to become very hostile a lot faster if they don't know what's going on.
That's true. And this is
so-
like you're isolated with this
It's a
group.
new planet. Yeah.
I think that would be actually
mean-
terrifying now that you've put it in this form.
Exactly. Like if it was aliens abducting me, taking me to Mars, where they've built their civilization, and I can just like slot in as an experiment or whatever.
That sounds
Vibes.
much better, yeah.
Take me there. But I wouldn't want to go on an interstellar cross the universe journey with humans unless, like, especially strangers. I wouldn't want to go with strangers.
Yeah.
Firstly, social anxiety doesn't like that.
Opposite.
Secondly, I feel like I would want to go with people I'm comfortable with.
Yeah. That you
And
can
then
rely on
I feel
and
like it would
trust.
be easier.
The trust is a
Yeah.
big thing. If I'm gonna put my life in the hands of like, I don't know, Yaku, and you know, his main thing is, you know, like, oh, Michelle looks fine. That's my main girl over there. My and that he's just focused on her. I'm like, Yaku, we need to live. You know?
Yeah, can we keep the procreation
Please.
to a minimal at this stage until we can keep ourselves alive?
Yeah, exactly.
Also, what is it with people getting pregnant in the midst of an apocalypse?
Oh my god. So many stories and like movies and stuff. Just to have a pregnant woman just there.
Casually. Like I don't know if you've watched A Quiet Place.
No, but I've watched like the juicy parts of it.
Yeah. So this woman is pregnant. And they had to make so obviously
She
I
give
don't know
birth in the middle
if
of the
you've
movie
never
as
seen
well.
Yeah, she does.
That's
So
inevitable.
a bit of like context to the story. If you haven't seen it, spoilers. So in this world there are like these creatures that are attracted to sound, and then they eat you and they kill you. Or I can't remember it was ages ago that I watched this. So then there's this family who has like kind of adapted to living in this new world where everything is very quiet, very noise
Couldn't be
free.
me.
I mean, as much as you can. Couldn't be me. No. So they have a house and like a farm and they do the things, and so they live very quietly and whatnot. So they have a family. Obviously they were married before the world went to shit and whatnot, but now they have another baby on the way in the midst of this this thing,
Yeah.
this apocalypse situation. I'm like, why?
Where's the responsibility? Why would you want to bring a child into this world where inevitably you're all gonna die? Like, not to be
Yeah.
morbid, but in this situation, it is inevitable. Like, these creatures are on the planet, and you're just biding your time, surviving.
Honestly.
Oh my gosh.
Like it's ridiculous, dude. I was like, and now they have this whole bunker underneath the house that's been like
Yes.
soundproofed for when she gives birth.
Oh.
And I'm like, how are you gonna keep this baby quiet? They had like I think as far as I remember, they have like a pod
Yeah.
where they like sound like have holes in, but it's soundproofed. So if the baby does cry, they put the baby in there, and like the baby can go ahead and cry. I could be very wrong, and I could misremember a lot of this movie, but it's hectic. And I was like, why are you having children?
Yeah.
Like, there's a waterfall. Go go live behind this waterfall. If there's a cave, go live
so
behind it. They
smart.
can't hear you through this waterfall.
Yeah.
Anyway, I just don't understand this. It feels so silly to decide to have a child.
Yes. What are your priorities? Also, the whole concept of loud baby goes to the loud baby cage. You know, get imprisoned until the cries are done. Like, I don't feel comfortable with that. You know, you haven't even figured out why they're crying.
I was
yet.
shook,
Maybe
dude.
they pooped themselves and you're just gonna shove them in the pod for like the next, you know.
Well, I mean, the idea is to keep the baby quiet.
Yeah, I know.
So that these things, but also like, how are you supposed to take care of your baby if it's crying? Because obviously it needs something.
Yeah, they don't just.
So
okay,
like,
they do. Just
I don't
cry.
know. I don't understand.
But if I poop myself, I'm not gonna stop making a noise until someone helps me.
Until someone cleans my ass.
Literally, like, you're just putting me in a pod. No, mom, clean my ass.
Clean me.
Oh God.
I need milk.
Anyway. Oh God.
Yeah, so the conclusion to this was we would both go with the aliens, or depending on our
Yes.
T's and C's for
I want
it.
a contract
Otherwise,
Yeah.
no.
Not a binding contract.
Yeah, I want a
Yeah.
contract.
I want to go home.
No. Like, I'm fine with a verbal contract.
Oh, okay. You run like that.
Yeah, like, yeah, I mean, like, listen, they could be like, hey, we will offer you everything you want. We'll take you to all the places you want to see. And I'll be like, lacquer, bro. It could be in a contract, but aliens might not even have a concept of contracts.
That's true.
They could be on a like they have telepathic communications, and that's how they know if someone's lying to them or was like betraying them.
Ooh, how would you live, man?
Exactly.
Michael looks a little
exactly.
tired
So they
today,
could be like
but
this.
You can't say that he doesn't because he knows, and then your friendship is just like over. Why are my aliens
Yeah.
named Michael? I'm sorry.
Anyway, so like this contract would be like non-binding because they just don't have contracts. So yeah, and they could be like, lol, I'm gonna take you to all these places, it's on a contract, and then you get there and they're like, lol, we're putting you to work on this moon farm.
Jeez.
You know, it's so I mean,
Interdimensional force.
whatever,
labor.
man.
We're getting dark. No, I'm kidding. Oh my gosh.
Anyway, yeah, so we'd both go with aliens.
Yeah.
So that is just an insight into future conversations with us.
100%. We'll be definitely talking more about aliens and just space in general. All the crazy things.
Yeah, we like. Well, as you've probably noticed by now, we do tend to go off on a bit of a tangent. But I mean, that's what this is about. And I mean, that's one of the driving reasons we started this podcast.
Nice segue.
Hey. Yeah, but I mean, that is how we started, essentially, coming up with this plan. And I think we can dive into how this train wreck of two people decided that talking on the internet
That's a good idea.
was something we wanted to do. Yeah, so how we met, or how we came into contact with one another, is we work at the same place, and she was my mentor, Q was my mentor, because she started before me. So she trained me, and I think the first week was really awkward, but then after that, the first week at work was always pretty awkward.
Especially if it's like remote working, because you never really get to. I feel like, okay, this is a different conversation, again, tangent, but like meeting people in person, I feel like it's so much easier to get to know them because you can read their body language, you can read their facial expression and their vibe more clearly, and it's so difficult when you're just like maybe on camera on Zoom or something. So,
no, it's definitely very interesting.
We fought that adversity.
Because
We persevered and became buds, man. I'm proud of us.
yeah, we did. And we were kind of, just because we were in the same department at the time. We're still in the same department, but just like different sub departments, I guess. We would like daily. We would kind of just go through work together. We'd like meet up over a call because we live in two different places in the country. And we met up. So we meet up like during the day and be like, yo, I just need someone to chat to while I go through my tasks.
Super helpful.
And we would just kind of start chatting, and we would really just talk a lot of shit. we were just like our previous conversation with the aliens and whatnot. I mean, if that's anything to go, that's typically how our conversations
Every
would go.
single time. And it just, I think for me, it's helpful to have a person who is willing to do that, because look, especially with lockdown, I'm with my mother just like 24/7, and she's spent 20 odd years of my life with me. I've unleashed all my thoughts in this world onto her, and she's tired of hearing them. She's so tired. No one wants to listen to me, but Lorian does. And Lorian has similar thoughts, and I want to hear them too, and it's such a magical flippin' thing. Thank you, Lorian.
Yeah, so you're welcome. I'm so glad I could become an outlet for your thoughts. But it is because, like, you know, sometimes with family, you can't really, like, you can discuss things with them, obviously, but there's just something you need from someone else where you can just talk about
Absolute
nonsense and just really go off on a topic. I mean, we started with like aliens, and we ended up talking about movies and like
Contracts.
a variety.
I forgot what we even spoke about, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah. and that's I think that's, like I said, this is kind of the driving force between why we started this, because we did want to we talk a lot of shit.
That's
and
true. Too much.
we were like, you know what, we've got goals and things, but content, like, I feel like this is a creative outlet for both of us,
100%, yeah.
and if people enjoy listening to us, then why not? Because they can share their thoughts with us, and we can obviously then have more conversations with more people. And I think it's just a way for us also to interact with more people,
100%.
especially in this time where everyone's kind of
Isolated and in their own sort of bubbles.
yeah. And it is kind of, I think also as adults, it's hard to meet new people.
True.
Unless you're going, like, starting a new job, or your friends have new friends from work, essentially.
Yeah, it's so hard to make friends. I think that's so, like, glossed over. This is a part of adulthood that no one really speaks about. Like, I went through university. I was lucky enough to go through it with my best friend on this earth, and I don't know how it would have been if it wasn't for her, because I mean, we made a group of friends, and then we quickly realized, like, hey, maybe these aren't the people for us, you know, and that's okay. You know, not everyone's interests and personalities align, or maybe some people are just meant to be in your life for a short space of time and, you know, impact you in that space. And I still do carry fond memories of those guys. Shout out to the homies if they ever see this. Oh god, please don't see this. Yeah, I think, you know, it wasn't really until I started work at the company that we both work at that I started to really make meaningful relationships in my life, you know, or like connect with people by myself on my own terms, and that was really exciting for me. But, you know, it's not often that you find someone who really does relate to you and does find everything you say as exciting as you find it, you know. And I think that's so pure and great, that, you know, we could just talk for hours, and it's a good space, because I will say we did talk too much at work. There was a period,
we do,
like, there was a period where we'd still get our work done. I mean, we're great.
Yeah.
We're great.
We were working as we were talking.
Yeah, but I mean, just like the absolute nonsense for hours.
Yeah, hours. It was. I think it was a good way to get through the day as well,
was.
because when you're working remote, it's quite hectic.
It is.
You
miss
kind
that
of get
interaction.
motivated.
That too.
Yeah.
That too.
So it was nice to have that kind of, I would say, background noise, because it's not noise because you're actively participating in the conversation.
I mean, sometimes you're
But
not,
it
that's
was-
okay.
Yeah. I mean, there have been times where I was like, well, I'll do something, and like, you're talking to me, but I'm not listening
Yeah, same.
to what
It's
you're
fine,
saying.
but I think
And
we
then
both are the same
I'll be
thing.
like, I'm so sorry, but like, I was not listening to you right now. Can you just repeat
My
what,
best friend
what you
does
just
that
said?
to me all the time. I have a full conversation with her, staring her in the eyes, and then she'll be like, huh? What? Sorry, I'm
sorry, I
so
zoned
sorry,
out.
I zoned out. And I'm like, oh god. I
Just
understand,
completely,
but also,
like, my
dude.
brain was not there. I've gotten better though. I have.
Me too. I think it's a skill.
Yeah. It is. I think, like I said, it's nice to have that conversation and just like that motivation to do the things.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
pretty much, I mean, look, this is just a space for us to have the conversations that we want to have and get excited about the things that excite us, but other people are like, oh jeez. Like my mom doesn't want to hear me talk about like aliens in the multiverse and like anime and stuff.
And all those theories we have.
Yeah,
exactly. And that's one thing I appreciate, I think, about our friendship as well is like, I mean, obviously I have my group of friends that I have, but I found that our interests are very different. And like, I have one friend, love her to bits, but she's very much an outdoorsy, very take on the world type of person. Like, I feel like I am as well, but I take on the world in different ways, and she's just like out here doing the most. And I'm just like, you know what, like, I enjoy a good hike, I enjoy doing the things.
I do not.
But I do like, I mean, I'm not saying I want to go and sweat and kill myself on a mountain.
Look, let's just clarify, no disrespect to any people that like hiking. Y'all are great and you have a good hobby.
For actually having
I
the
wish I
motivation.
could be you. I will I will be asleep on a Saturday morning at 7 a.m. while you embrace life. I respect you.
Yes.
Anyways.
And like, so she does all these like things, and I'm like, that seems like so much work. First, I like I said, I don't like, it's not like I won't do it, it's just I need the motivation. Like, I need it to be planned at least like a few weeks in advance, at least a week in advance,
so I can mentally prepare.
Exactly. But I'm a type of person, I like to sit at home. I'm a very much a homebody. I like to sit at home and watch my shows or play my games. I love, like, it's for me, it's something I really enjoy doing. It's something exactly. And I find with my friends, like, I can't always share that excitement with them. And you, like, I remember the first time I pulled a 5-star in Genshin Impact, and I think it was in a lunch with our team, and I was like, okay, I'm listening and I'm participating, but I'm also gonna play because it's my lunch hour. And I pulled a 5-star. If for those who don't know, Genshin is a gacha game with a really good story that I play every day religiously. And like I said, I was busy wishing on the banners that they have, and I pulled a 5-star character, which is like really rare in the game. Like, I could get into the mechanics of that on its own, but I won't because it's quite a bit. And I pulled this character and I freaked out because it's like my first 5-star since playing the game, and I freaked out and I was like immediately very furiously typing to Q, I just pulled a 5-star, it's so cool. And she really got excited about it, and she was like really happy, and I feel like we have that friendship where I can just talk about nonsense. Like, I can be going on about an anime plot that I've been watching, and she will not know anything about it.
Absolutely nothing.
She will be like, "Oh my god, how?
That's
excuse
wild."
me?" Yeah, and I really appreciate that, because like often, like, I can talk to my friends about it, but they don't share that like excitement and enthusiasm for it. And it's not like shade to them, it's just that's not what they're interested in. Yeah, so I mean, and this is like a nice space, I think, for both of us to just share our interests and not, I don't say be judged, because we're not like judging.
I don't think anyone's judging.
It's just like,
but
so that we can chat about to someone.
Fully.
And chat to someone who's just as excited. So that's kind of how we came to be. With LoliQ. And from here on out, I mean, this is kind of the kind of content we'll be getting into. It's just us chatting about our favorite topics, things that interest us, things that might be going on in the world. It's not really for anything specific at this point.
I think the goal is just to make us happy and to have that outlet for us, because it's a nice little creative thing as well. I know, like, I don't know about you, but we're both creative people, but I find it so hard to like get motivated to like draw or write something with the general fatigue of existing. And I think
The
it's
existentialness of life.
and I think having the connection and the interaction is a huge motivator for us as well. And it's I'm excited for the ride, and I hope anyone
me
who's
too.
listening is number one, as excited, or
Yeah.
number two, ready for some weirdness. It's definitely
We
just gonna
really
be
just-
whatever. We have an outline of things we want to talk about, and it's just
It's
so
gonna get wild.
just nonsense.
We
and
have a
it's
lot
like-
of thoughts and feelings,
Yes.
and we're really just excited to do this. And we want to see if it takes us anywhere. If it doesn't, we'll probably just keep doing it for fun.
That's okay too.
Yeah, and we're just here to do it as a hobby at this point. And we're just here for fun times and chatting, and probably going on to our like outline of things we have planned for
No
future.
spoilers.
No, I'm not gonna do any spoilers. Okay. But for the outline, I mean, I feel like there's a couple of shenanigans might be coming out.
Very
And
true.
I think those are going to
Down
be
for
some
some
interesting
shenanigans.
conversations as well. And that's just pretty much what we're hoping for, is just having some fun. And if people enjoy what we do, then they can support us. On that note, if you want to support us, you can subscribe, you can share our podcast. What else do people do? Like our
Follow us on
Instagram.
Instagram. Just chat with us as well,
pop a
like in the
comment,
comment
yeah.
section or whatever. Like, I'm down to find some like-minded people and just have some like nice positive interactions where we can just share and chat.
Yeah.
And that's what this is all
We're
about.
not here to tell you guys how life should be, because I mean,
Oh yeah, we have no
we have no
qualifications for that.
qualifications. The only thing we're qualified in is talking cuck, honestly.
Yes. Yes.
But yeah,
I have a master's.
we're professors in that field now.
Yes.
But yeah, if you guys do like what we're doing and you want to get involved, or talk to us, like drop a comment, drop a like. We're not.
We'll be
Yeah,
there.
and also just to clarify, this is a very safe space for anyone.
100%. If you feel ostracized or just alone in general, we want to create a safe space for people to feel like at home and comfortable as well. So, yeah.
Yeah, we're trying to do a cozy podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, we
Cozy.
want people to. I think another like thing we want to do is just kind of give back to the world that's already pretty dark.
It's pretty. Yeah.
And we just want to be a bit of a ray of light, I guess. A
Yeah.
bit of happiness in the dark at the moment. That was very deep, and I'm very sorry about the
It's
deepness.
okay. We will get there sometimes. It's a natural progression. But yeah, overall, yeah, we're really excited to see where this goes, and we thank you guys for being along on the ride with us if you're listening. And thanks for listening to our first episode. This is crazy.
Thanks. This is episode 1.
Yes.
Thank you guys. Have a beautiful day, and we will see you next week for a topic that we don't know about yet.
Yes. Welcome to the ride.
Welcome to our awesome planning of what we're doing. Anyway, guys, have a beautiful day further, and we will check you in the next episode.
See you guys.
Bye.
Bye.